Hey guys, welcome to my Etsy channel. This is Nancy from nancybadijo.com and welcome to another Etsy shop critique. If this is your first time visiting my Etsy channel and you are currently an Etsy seller or possibly thinking of starting your own Etsy shop, this is the place to be. I upload Etsy videos weekly, so make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel today. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I normally do on a critique, I pick a particular listing and I kind of break down a little bit of everything from the photo to the listing description to SEO, and then I finish the video with the curation of the shop. So I kind of go through different steps of that particular listing and then what they could improve in the overall scheme of everything. So today I'm doing a critique on the store called Reset Jewelry by Celine. So thank you, Celine, for allowing me to do a critique on your shop. Now, this is a very unique shop compared to other shops I have done. I've never seen a shop similar like yours. So it's very, very different and very, very cool at the same time. So they sell recycle computer jewelry and other things. So the listing that I picked to do this particular critique is this one right here. Now, keep in mind that all the tools that I'm currently going to be talking about on this video, plus additional tools, you could find right below this video. If you click, you'll find a list of different resources for Etsy sellers that will be very, very helpful for you guys. I'll be doing a critique using the tool formerly known as Etsy Rank and now is known as eRank. And that's a free tool for all Etsy sellers. You can also pay for the pro version of it. I highly recommend doing so as well because it does give you additional features to research your keywords plus additional things that you could do with it. So many features with it. So I recommend signing up for eRank. So the first thing I always talk about is product photography. And the way that you list your products is very, very important when you sell on an e-commerce platform like Etsy or any e-commerce platform. The reason why is because the first thing that people see is your photo. So the photo has to be amazing. It has to be cropped in a complimentary way. The person should be able to see the photo and know exactly what they're buying without any hesitation, without being confused of what they're buying. And then the photo also should be illustrated in different scenarios. So maybe having, this is a set of earrings, so maybe having somebody wear the earrings and making sure that you have multiple photos. I would say a minimum of 6 if you can't do all 10. And you could do different photos. For instance, you could have one of how you package your items when you ship them. You could have a photo of maybe you creating the earrings. You could have another photo of somebody wearing them. You could have another photo maybe of the backside of the earring. Just showcasing different angles. Maybe you could have a photo scaling the earring so people know exactly what size it is. So maybe you put it next to a quarter or next to an object so people could know what to expect, what size to expect. But having different photos is going to really help you close out the sale. Now, looking at this photo, it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. So one thing that I noticed right away is that it's too much color in the background. So it's taking away from your actual product. I feel like your product is getting lost in all the pink in the background. What I would do if this was my item, I would take a picture with a nice white settled background. I wouldn't do any color in the background. I will also add additional pictures of somebody actually wearing the earrings, or maybe even holding it with the hand or something. But I will add additional pictures with a nice minimalist, like white background, keep it nice and clear, because the color is taken away from the product. And looking at first glance, I wouldn't known that this is earrings. They kind of look like earrings, but then they also look like, they could look like, I don't know, like a pin, or it could look like anything else. So it's really hard to, for a lot of people, it's going to be hard at first glance to know exactly what they're buying. And that's a problem, because what you want to do is at first glance, anybody that sees your photo, they know exactly what they're buying. If they have to guess or they have to spend more time like reading and stuff like that, unfortunately, people won't click on your listing because visual aspect of it is very, very important. I did a video on this, which is the power of presentation and how you can increase your sales by having amazing photos. So I will work on your photos for sure. I would just have white background, showcase your earrings in different scenarios, wearing it, holding it in your hand, take a picture of the back of it, maybe do, like I said earlier, a scale object to so people know the size of it. But I would definitely add additional photos and just keep it clear and minimalist. Keep in mind that a bad photo could prevent you from making a sale. And your item is very pretty. The earrings are very beautiful, but the showcase of the earrings is not that great. The presentation of your earrings is not that great because of the background and the style of photo that you took. I think even with this same picture, if you would have done it with a white background, it would look way better. But yeah, I mean, your items are beautiful, but it's more important to showcase your items in a way that people that are searching for it, they want to buy it, and people that maybe not necessarily were searching for your item but came across it, they're like, oh my God, these are so cute, I want to buy them. So you want to kind of target both customers, the people that are actually searching for your product and people that maybe weren't searching for it but they fell in love with it. So that would be my suggestion for your product photography. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is SEO. So SEO, guys, if this is your first time hearing about it, is search engine optimization. This is how Google and large search engines find a particular listing that you currently have on Etsy through keywords, or also known as tags on Etsy. And it's important that when you're using or when you're researching SEO, and you're researching keywords for your actual products, that you keep in mind your target audience. You keep in mind on how people actually search for items. So if I'm going to search for, I'll give you an idea. If I'm going to search for running shoes, and if I went to Google or even Etsy, I wouldn't just type shoes. If I do shoes, I'm going to get all types of shoes, right? But if I type in the word running shoes, that's a long tail keyword because it's 2 keywords or more, I will get what I'm looking for, particularly what I'm looking for. And that's how you have to keep in mind when you're doing your research for your listings. You got to keep in mind, how would somebody, search for this type of earrings? But then also keep in mind that these are not just standard earrings. Yet these are very different. So you have to keep in mind of how maybe somebody might search for it. If you use keywords that are too broad, what happens is everybody else is probably doing the same thing because they're not using SEO correctly. And what happens majority of the time is that a keyword that is broad, like jewelry or shoes, something very like narrow, very broad like that, what happens is your listing will get buried in the search results. So therefore, you won't get found. And even if your listing doesn't get buried in the search results, let's say you're using a particular keyword that maybe not too many people are not using, what happens is you're not targeting your target audience. So even if people start seeing your listing, you might not get the sales. That's why a lot of people say, I get a lot of impressions or a lot of views, but no one's buying. They're not, the conversions are not turning into sales. But that's the reason why, because you're not targeting your target audience. You're showing your listing to the incorrect people or people that are not interested in your product. So therefore, people are seeing it in the news, in Etsy feeds, in the Etsy feed, but no one is clicking to buy because of the reason that they're not looking for your particular item. So this is why it's so important that you target your target audience and that you start understanding how people search for items. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're doing SEO, you say, oh, well, this is pink, so I will put pink earrings or pink gold earrings. That is a way of thinking, so you could write those down. But then you also need to research those keywords to make sure that they're not too competitive. Because then if you use keywords that are too competitive, then even though they might be targeting your target audience, you could also fall in the berry section of the Etsy search results when people are finding stuff. So it's kind of like a balance of finding keywords that people are searching for, but that are not overpopulated. Another thing you have to keep in mind when you upload a new listing on Etsy is called, they give you a listing score. Etsy does that. No one knows your listing score, only Etsy algorithm does that. But when you upload a new listing, depending on how many people click on your listing, like your listing, purchase your listing, that particular listing will stay in the first page of Etsy. That's why a lot of times you'll research a keyword and you're like, well, how come this listing, this keyword is so competitive, but this person's listing is appearing in the first page of Etsy? How come mine's don't appear there? The reason why is because probably when they listed their listing, they got so much likes and favors and buys, etc., that their listing, X is going to favor that listing. They're going to be like, the algorithm is going to favor that listing and say, wow, this listing must be popular. Let's keep it on the top, first, second page of Etsy. Versus if you upload a listing, no one interacts with it, no one likes it, no one's buying, no one is clicking. Over time, that Etsy listing, especially if using keywords that are very competitive, over time that keyword gets sunk in the search results. It gets sunk in the bury section of it, basically. Like you'll be in page, I don't know, 50 out of, let's say 250. Like you'll be somewhere over there that no one is scrolling or viewing your items. So this is why it's so important that you work on your keywords, and make sure that you use keywords that describe your item, keywords that are for your target audience. That way, when you do upload a listing, and because that listing is a neutral score, doesn't have any new listings that you add, doesn't have a score. It's treated like everyone else. And then the score is based on how people interact with it. So you want to make sure that you use keywords that people are going to find it, that are interested in your product. So therefore, you have the higher possibility of ranking higher in the search results. Now, keep in mind that ranking higher in the search results is a combination not only on your listing score, but it's also a combination of your customer service, of your reviews, how many listings you add in your store. It's a combination of many different things, but that's one of the factors that I wanted to kind of explain to you. That way you could take advantage of learning how to maneuver that a little bit better with using the right keywords. Looking at your tags, the first thing I noticed is you're using keywords very broad. You have earring, you got gamer, you got pixel, you got jewelry. These are very, very broad. If you go to Etsy.com and you type in the word earring, you're going to notice that there is over 3 million listings using the word earrings. Or do you have earring, or do you have a plural or not? Let's see. You don't have a plural. So let's take out, let's just do earring. So you have, there's currently, still 3 million listings. So you're competing with 3 million listings. So if your picture one is not, the best photo, so you didn't get all that interaction in the beginning, your listing right now is probably buried somewhere in over here. So this is why it's so important that you don't use keywords that are too broad, because this is what happens. There's too many people using that tag right now. The same thing if you were to look up any of your other any of your other tags. If you do, let's say geek, right? I get why you put the word geek. It's too broad. You're just using the word geek by itself. It's too broad and it means everything, right? Look at all these different items that come up when you use the word geek. So maybe using earrings for geeks, maybe. Let's see what happens if we type that in. So earrings for geeks have 7,000 results. So that would be a better keyword for you, because one, you have earring in there because it is an earring, but you're targeting your target audience, which is geeks and people. I'm a little geek as well, so I will probably search for something like that, earrings for geek. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them, and they're odd and different and pretty, just like yours. So this is what you have to do. You have to use keywords that you can actually compete and that you could potentially organically rank in the first page of Etsy for that particular keyword. And then if you run a Facebook ad, an Etsy ad, your cost per click is not going to be outrageous. If you do a Etsy ad on the word earring, let's say your cost per click might be like $3. Let's say, I don't know if it is, but I'm just saying $3. However, if you do earrings for geek, the cost per click is going to be a lot less because there's less saturation with that keyword. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind, that when you use keywords that are too broad, you could also run ads for those tags if you really want to rank for those tags. But just keep in mind that when you use those tags, especially if you didn't change the cost per bid and you just have it by default, whatever Etsy charges, your cost per bid will be a lot higher because there's so many people using it. So just keep that in mind. So what I would do, the first thing I would do is study up SEO. Make sure that you start understanding what are long tail keywords, how to target your audience, what keywords to use that describe your item that people are searching for. So therefore, when you get views and impressions, you're getting them from the people that are actually interested versus getting views and impressions and they're really high, but it's because you're showing your products and services to people who are not interested. As you can see, a lot of the keywords that you're using have over 50,000 listings. Whenever it's in red, that means that that's how many people are using that particular keyword. And that's a lot. Like, it's going to be really hard for you to rank for these keywords. If you want to use the word soda, then I would suggest to do earrings, soda earrings or something like that, and researching that type of stuff. That way, when people are searching for, maybe someone is searching for earrings for soda, right? Or soda earrings. But you want to like tie in what the earring is and then who is it for and tie that in. You don't want to just use a solid keyword. This is too broad. This is too broad. All of these are too broad. This is too broad. It's not, I didn't see that your jewelry was silver. Your jewelry is it silver? Is gold and pink. So I wouldn't use silver jewelry. Stud earrings is fine, but again, it's very broad and it's too much competition. So therefore, I would suggest redoing all your SEO. But like I said, researching tags that are for your target audience. And once you do your new SEO and you have new keywords and hopefully you're using Etsy Rank as a tool, what you want to do is make sure that you put the main keyword let's say this is your main keyword here, the main keyword in the beginning of your sentence. You want to make sure that your this is your meta description here. You want to make sure that your meta description includes your main keyword. And then you want to make sure that your keywords are all through your listing description. So you want to put, all the other keywords that you found, you want to talk about them in your listing description. This is how you rank higher in the search results for Etsy. And this is an on-page SEO factor when you're creating a listing to add as many keywords as you want to rank for. Now, you want to add them naturally and use them in sentences that make sense. You don't necessarily have to use all of them, but if you can't, do so. So that would be my suggestion for SEO. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is listing description. So keep in mind, SEO is how people find your listing, right? They type in a keyword and your listing pops up. The photo is how people, when they're browsing through the Etsy search results, when they see your listing, they're like, whoa, I want that, right? That's what makes them want to click on the actual listing. Now, listing description is what closes the sale. That's how I kind of view it. The listing description should be everything and anything the customer should know about that particular item. It should include details about the item, how big, how small, the color, how it's made, how it should be taken care of, how to order, your shipping policy, your return policy, anything and everything the customer should know. I particularly wouldn't add your Facebook, your Instagram, any of these. This is why you have a section down here in your About Me section to put your actual listings for your store. Like, I'm sorry, not actual listings, but all your links right here. So that's where you include that. If you wanted to include one in here, that's fine. I wouldn't include all of them. Anyways, people can't click on it anyway, so it's not a hyperlink because Etsy doesn't allow it. You could only add hyperlinks to the actual Etsy website, as you can see here. Any Etsy ones will open as a hyperlink, and if you add any additional links that are outside of Etsy, they won't be hyperlinked, so there's no point of putting them there. What I would do is redo your listing description. Make sure your meta description is enticing. It includes your main keyword, like I said earlier. And your meta description is what Google shows to customers to find your listing. This is your meta description right now. It doesn't look as attractive. This is what people see when they search for you in Google. So you want to make sure that it's enticing. When people read it, they want to click on it to learn more about your product because they don't have a picture, right? When you Google it, there's no picture right there. So you want to make sure your meta description is enticing. And then for SEO factor for your image, you want to make sure your image looks good. That way, when people search by image on Google, that your picture comes up and people want to click on it because it's enticing as well. So you kind of want a combination of both. So making sure that you work on your meta description and making sure that your listing description is easy to read and it has everything and anything the customer needs to know about this particular listing. I think you did a good job with it. I think that it just could be a little bit better. And I think that if you remove these items, that's better. And what I would do is add additional links to additional products that particularly go with that product. So you have this one here, which I believe goes with the earrings, or it kind of favors the earrings a little bit. So if you have anything else that favors this particular listing, you could say, click here to view matching items. That could also be a picture. You could put a picture saying, click below to learn more about this listing and also view matching items. Or you could put a picture with all the matching items. Like you could put a picture with the earrings, with the necklace, with whatever else you have that kind of goes with that particular item and say, click below for links. And that will also help you with the likelihood of people buying more from you as well. So just using that is better. It's better to have links that they could click on and spend more time on your shop than have links that is going to make them go away from your shop. So the longer the customer reads or stays or shop in your store, the higher the possibility of you getting a sale. So ultimately, you want to keep them a little bit longer in the store. So that's what I would do with your listing description. I think you did a great job here. Continue shopping, and you put your main homepage link. That's great. I do that as well. I like this section here with the Etsy combo. I would just add additional items that go with that particular or maybe similar items and kind of have like a link to those items. The fourth thing I want to talk about is your overall look of your store. So the first thing I recommend is branding. If you want to scale your business to the next level, you want to be known for what you sell, you want to stand out, you want to make sure that all your items have the same colors. If I saw this listing on the search results and I saw, let's say, this one here, and then I saw maybe this one here and that one, I necessarily would think that they're from 4 different shops. It doesn't look like from the same shop. So branding is having the same color scheme, sticking with the same fonts if you use fonts in your photos, sticking with the same style of photography, and just keeping that all across, not only on Etsy, but also on your social media feeds, also if you have a website, and etc. Just keeping a branding look all across. And it's really, really important because that's how people know, oh, that's from that store, Reset Jewelry. But if you have these 4 listings here that they look from like 4 different shops, that doesn't help you. So what I would recommend is little by little, learning more about branding. You could go to Pinterest. There's a lot of articles there. You could look up other stores that are doing really, really well and kind of see how they brand their stuff. But just making sure that it's branded, making sure you have the same style of photography, making sure you have the same color background or the same colors consistently. That's going to help you take your shop to the next level. I think your banner looks pretty nice, especially for what you sell. It kind of goes with it. You could always take it to the next level, of course, by putting, maybe putting your social media handles, maybe putting your hours of operation. If you sign up for Etsy Plus, I'm not saying that that's going to get you more sales, but it does make your shop look better. And that's why I have it in a couple of my shops. With Etsy Plus, you could have a rotating banner. So that would be really cool if you could do like 2-3 photos, maybe have your main banner and then have a second banner that showcases maybe all the earrings or all the jewelry, maybe have another one that showcases similar items together, but just kind of maybe have one that shows all the stuff that you have, maybe have one that shows new arrivals, etc. But that will spice up your store. It would give it another look to it. And it also has a feature section in the front where you could rotate based on how many sales you get. You could rotate the picture and it rotates automatically, and you could pick what items you want to feature. I would suggest the best selling items that you sell. So I recommend doing that because it will make your store look a little nicer as well. It just helps. And then another thing is, what I would suggest is doing research on tags, on keywords that you want to rank for. Once you have those keywords, let's say you do like 25 keywords. Once you have those keywords, using those keywords in your title, using the keywords in your section names here, using your keywords in your announcement section, using your keywords in your about me section, and this is optimizing your store for SEO. And it's the same thing that we talked about, your listing description and putting the tags in there, but now you're doing it for your overall store. The more keywords you have that you want to rank for, the higher you will rank for those keywords when people search in the search results on Etsy, and they're called search queries. So when people are searching for those keywords, your store will rank higher because Etsy will notice, oh, all these keywords are in the store. So instead of always saying handmade jewelry, if one of the keywords is, electronic handmade jewelry, then you would put in electronic handmade jewelry inspired by retrograms, etc., whatever it is. But using your keywords throughout your store, that's like one of the biggest tips I could give you that's going to help you rank higher in Etsy search results as well as other search results when people are typing for those specific terms or tags or keywords, whatever you want to call it. Good job on your photo. I would do a white background. That way your photo doesn't get drowned. And then great job on your About Me story. I thought you did a terrific job. I like that you're showcasing who you are, how you do these beautiful jewelry. So this is really great. I think this is awesome here. Good job on putting your links. And great job on your reviews. Obviously, you have great customer service. All your reviews are great. So yeah, these are my tips for you. I think that you have a beautiful shop, and I also think you have a very unique shop. I think it's just tweaking some stuff, but most importantly is photos and SEO. Everything else you could kind of like change as you go. But SEO, because that's how people find you. It doesn't matter. You could have the most amazing photos, the most amazing banner, but if you're not using the right SEO, no one's like finding your shop. And then what I would recommend outside of Etsy is doing social media. My favorite would be Pinterest for promoting your shop. It will really help you do that, and I see that you're doing that right now. So pinning in a regular basis is important. Making sure that you have your business set up. You do have it set up right here. So yeah, great job. Pinterest is a great way to increase your traffic. I have videos on that as well. I won't go into that too much because then I'll be here forever. But great job overall in your shop. Guys, I'm trying to create a sense of community where we all come together, we help each other with tips. If I miss anything on her shop or any tips that you currently have, make sure you leave them below. Make sure you like this video, share, and comment. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.